Hello and welcome at part 5 of our Serendipity Bookseller project, a C++ software development project. And in this part we will convert some of our if statements to loops. So far we used if statements to kind of branch the program, but if statements only run once. So basically we run the program, it checks or validates the condition in the if statement, and then it performs something, but it performs it only once. So we want to do loops, and that way we can control the program or run the program until certain action is taken by the user. So in our main menu we have an exit option which exits the whole program, and we will do a while loop that guarantees that the program will run until the user selects this option. Similarly, in our database or our inventory database menu, we have an option that says return to the main menu, and again we will keep the screen of the inventory database menu displayed until user actually decides to return to the main menu. Again, we will be using loop to do that. And it's the same for reports menu. There's a return to main menu option as well. And in our cashier module, after the user has entered the data for sale and we display the receipt, we will add a code that asks the cashier if another transaction is to be processed. Right now we can only enter one transaction, and then the program goes back to main menu. In this way we can enter unlimited transactions until the user chooses to not enter any more transactions, and until that the program will repeat. Okay, so I'm going to start with the main menu. Currently, as you can see, it displays the menu and it has the option to exit, but we simply at this point we don't exit the program, or we do, but only we don't loop through the program. Basically we run it only once. We display the menu, then we validate the option, make sure that the user entered the correct one, and then that's it. There's no repeat, so that's why we are going to use a while loop. Now before I do that, remember I can only use main method in one file. I'm gonna be using it since I'm changing main menu. I'm gonna use main method for that file, so I will rename the one that I'm currently having, which is in reports. I'm gonna rename it to main3, so that way when I run the program the entry point is from the main menu, and that's what's gonna display. Alright, so we are going to be looping through the program until user chooses choice 4, which is to exit the program. So to convert this to a while loop is fairly simple. I'm simply going to add a while, and we are again looping until the choice is 4. So while it is not 4, we will be running the program. So while the choice is not equal to 4, we will run the program. So I will simply copy all this and I'll cut it and paste it within the while loop. So that way until the user enters 4, we will be running the program. Actually this one I can copy that as well and only leave the return at the end, and this one will be after the if statement. Okay, so if I run this now, hold on a second, it's telling me that the choice is not initialized. Oh, okay, because I have the integer choice and I need to initialize it because I'm using it here, but I need to initialize it before. So let's try it again. Okay, here's my screen, and it asks for the choice. So I'm gonna enter choice, let's say 1. It displays you selected item 1, and it then displays the menu again. The same with 2. Let's say I enter 5, which is wrong. So it says you entered choice 5. It doesn't really validate it. But if I enter 4, it should exit, and it does, because it loops only until the choice is 4. Now, so I entered 5, even though you have a validated input, it doesn't really do anything about it. It simply says that, hey, you entered 5, you know, enter number 1 through 4. That's all. It doesn't let me, doesn't actually fixes it for me, or it doesn't let me to fix it. If I do, again, 5, it says please enter a number 1 to 4, and then it repeats the whole thing. But I don't really want to repeat the menu like that. If I enter a wrong choice, I want to be simply told that please enter number in the range 1 to 4, and let me input the choice again rather than display the whole menu. And again, to do that, we have to convert the if statement to a while loop. So instead of if, I will do while the choice is less than 1 or choice is greater than 4. Then we will display please enter value 1 through 4. There is no else. And then we will do the repeat the choice. So we will do cout please enter, please, or just enter your choice, and we will ask again for the input from the user for the choice. All right, and after that we will do the switch statement that will validate the input that I entered now. So now I have my while loop that validates the input or runs until the input is between 1 and 4. If it is not, it displays the information that it is invalid, and it asks for another choice. So when we come over here, let me just format it a little better so it's clear which bracket belongs to what. So when we come to our switch statement, we already know that we have a choice that was entered between 1 and 4, 1, 2, 3, or 4, because this loop doesn't exit until, or as long as the choice is wrong, this loop doesn't exit. It will simply keep asking the user to re-enter the correct choice. All right, so if I run it now, my main menu should work now. Okay, I have my main menu. So if I enter 5, which is invalid, it simply says please enter number 1 through 4 and enter your choice. So I'm gonna put this on a new line, but it simply is working. You can see if I enter 5 again, or 6 or 7, it keeps asking me for the correct choice. So if I enter 3, then it's happy. It says you selected 3, and it redisplays the menu because it's within the other while loop that runs until the user presses 4. So when I press 4, the program exits. So that wasn't too bad, I guess. Let me just move this on a new line like that. And actually not this, sorry. But so I have the enter another choice. So if I run it now and enter 5, it should be displayed correctly or formatted correctly. Yeah, please enter a number in the range 1 through 4 and enter your choice. And if I enter 4, it will exit because it exits the exit over here. Alright, so that's our main menu. So now the next one will be our, let's do our inventory menu, for example. So in that, we're supposed to, we have an option that says return to main menu. So this thing should run until that option is being entered by the user. It's the same thing. We have the validate input. So again, I'm gonna initialize the choice to 0. Oh, but before I do that, let me just make this one a main method. And this one I'll make main 4. So next time I run it, inventory menu.cpp is loaded as the main entry point. So I have my choice. I will do a while loop. And it's again going to be, while the choice is not equal, in this case 5, which is the return to the main menu, then we will run this portion of the program. We will display the menu over and over again. And over here, when we validate the input, just like before, instead of the if, we will do a while loop and put the C out there. And we will do, I'll put it on the new line like before. And actually, you know what? Let me just copy paste this. C out, enter your choice, C in choice, because that's actually the same. Alright, so we don't have the if statement, so I'm gonna delete the else. I'm gonna delete the bracket there. And our return, let me see how those brackets are. This is a while loop. Actually, excuse me, this is the while loop runs or displays the menu until choice is 5. So this is the whole thing is actually wrapped into it. I'm sorry, just like it was before. So we will do our while loop ends here. I'm just gonna mark it and while choice not equal to 5, so that I know where the bracket is. So yeah, okay, so that's our while loop. All of it is in there. And now we have our inner while loop that selects or validates the input and repeats until the user enters correct choice. And then we have our switch statement that runs after the user made the correct choice. So let's test that. Let's see if I have anything wrong there while it builds. Okay, so we have our lookup book. So let's I enter, let's say 4, that's correct. Let's say I enter 6, which is incorrect, and it says please enter a number in range 1 to 5, enter your choice. If I enter incorrect again, it just repeats. And if I enter 5, then it should return to main menu, which it won't. It simply exits. Right now we don't have it hooked to return to the main menu. It simply says return to the main menu, and you selected item number 5. That's all that it does right now. So if I run it again, just to verify again, if I do 0, it's incorrect. If I do 6, it's incorrect. So if I do 5, it tells me you selected item number 5. It should actually return to main menu, but again, it's not really hooked up that way yet, so it simply exits. There is no other code to be executed. Alright, so that's inventory menu. Next thing, let's do the reports, for example. And again, the same thing. We're running the program in a while loop until, in this case, user enters 7, which should return to the main menu. So again, choice equals 0. It's the same thing. So while choice not equal 7 in this case, then we will perform the while loop, which is going to be all the way here. All right, so again, I'll just do and while choice not equal 7. So we have that, and the same with our validating input. We will do our while, place this in there. I'll copy paste these 2 lines. Like that. I will add the new line over there. There is no if statement, so we don't have any else statement. Like that. And that should actually work. Of course, we need to once again change the main for our reports, and our inventory menu now will have a main number 3. So when I run it now, I will get the reports screen, and here it is. So if I do 1, it's correct. If I do 6, it's still correct. So it repeats the menu. If I do 0, it says incorrect. 8 is incorrect, and 7, it will simply exit because it doesn't go to main menu yet. So again, if I run it again, if I enter 7, it simply says you selected item 7, press any key to continue, and it exits because these files are not hooked to each other yet. Alright, so that's our reports. And finally we have our cashier. Now cashier is slightly different in that we need to allow multiple entries. Like when the user enters the book, it asks at the end if the user wants to process another transaction. And for that, instead of while loop, we're going to do while, because we want to perform at least one of these operations. Like in these others, we simply do while choice is not equal to 5, we keep looping. We could do similar over in Cashier, but in this case, the do while loop is a little more elegant, I would say. So we will do while loop, and we will go all the way down here. So we will do all that while, and we will do the condition. So the condition, we will need something for the user to enter, and let's do a character called again. It simply says, ask the user, do you want to perform or do you want to run this again? And if the user says yes, then we will run it again. If this user says no or anything else, then we will exit. So while again is equal to y or lowercase I, or again equals lowercase I. So if the user presses y, we will run the do while loop again. If the user presses anything else, we will exit. Alright, so that's really all, except at the end, after we display the total and we thank the user for shopping, we need to collect the input again. We have to ask the user if he or she wants to perform another transaction. So we will do cout, process another transaction, and we will do y and n, and obviously, the way it is set up, actually, user doesn't have to enter N to exit. We only collect Y to run the transaction again. So if the user enters anything other than Y, that is basically a false, and the loop exits. But this is the standard, user enters yes or no. And we will collect the input, cin, and we will collect the character again, or called again. So if I run this, let me see, do I have the main menu? No, this is my main method now. So our reports will be, I don't know, menu 8 or something, doesn't matter. Because when I run it, now our cashier module will be displayed. So I'll enter a date, and I don't know, 5/18/2016, quantity of the book, let's say 2, ISBN 123, title, some title, and price 100, and we have our menu, and it asks here, process another transaction, yes or no. If I press Y and press enter, it asks again, enter date and quantity of the book. So it skips that because we need to do the ignore, CIN ignore, because it's ignoring the first, because I pressed enter, so it actually qualifies as the next entry, which is obviously wrong. So after we have our again, oops, this is not the, this is my cashier. After we have our again, we will do sin.ignore. Okay, let's try that again. Oops. And oh, I forgot parentheses. Okay, so let's try it again. Date 5/18/2016. Quantity of the book, let's say 2. ISBN 123, title, some title, price 100, and it displays like before. At the title, the ISBN, the total, because I have 2 books, so it multiplies 2 times 100, the tax, and all that we did before. So if I press Y now, it asks for the date again for the another entry for another book. So again, I'll do 5/18/2016. I'll do 5 books. ISBN will be 789, for example. Some title 2, and price will be, let's say, 10.50. So we got the receipt, and it asks again, okay, another transaction, and this time I press N, or if let's say press T, it doesn't matter, it will exit because it doesn't loop any further than that. If I press N, it would be the same thing, but again, we only collect Y for as a correct answer to continue. Everything else we don't continue anymore. All right, so this is the exercise for this part, number 5. So and in the next one we will enhance the application with some more functionality. So stick around, and I'll see you in the next part. Take care.